Hello, 7th graders. Your video for tomorrow is going to be the last section of Chapter 1, which is Section 1.8, Dividing Rational Numbers. So, one thing to remember about rational numbers, decimals, you cannot divide, so we're doing decimals and fractions. On fractions, you cannot divide fractions. You have to multiply by the reciprocal of the second number. So, for example, if I had 5/6 and I wanted to divide that by 2/3, you do not ever change this number. Okay, 5/6 is still 5/6. Change it to multiply, and you're going to flip this one, the second number. Flip it. The reciprocal means you flip top and bottom, so it becomes 3/2. So now I could reduce right here. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 2 is 4. Make that top heavy. I can't leave it top heavy, so 4 goes into 5 once, and there is 1 left over. So 1 1/4. If you can't do that just by looking at it, take it and divide it out. And whatever's remainder goes on top, and this number goes on the bottom. So then let's do a little tougher one. Let's do 14.5 divided by 3.5. And again, you can't multiply by mixed numbers, so you're going to make them top heavy. So 14 times 2 is 28, plus 1 is 29/2. And I'll just leave it to say division right now until I change this. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now I'm going to look at it and say, okay, wait a second, I can't do that. So instead, I'm going to do 29/2 times the flip of this one, which is 2/7. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 29 times 1 is 29. 1 times 7 is 7. Then I need to turn it back into a mixed number. So 7 goes into 29, 3, 4 times. 1 left over. So it would be 4 1/7 for my answer. So again, remember that when dealing with fractions, you can't multiply when it's mixed. You got to change it to a top heavy. You can't divide fractions at all. You have to change it to multiply and flip this second number, and then just top, bottom, bottom, the same way that we did when we were just multiplying plain fractions. Okay, then the next part, when dividing decimals by a whole number, bring the decimal straight up and divide like normal. So my example is, if I have 32.4 and I'm dividing it by a whole number 4, I'm just going to leave the decimal where it is, bring it straight up, and go ahead and divide like normal. 34 goes into 32 8 times. Bring the 4 down, 4 goes into 4 once, and there is no remainder, so I am done. My answer is 8.1. Okay, the division and the multiplying, it doesn't change. What changes is where the decimal might be, like in this one. When dividing a decimal by another decimal, you have to move the decimal on the outside of the box to the right as many spots as it takes to make it a whole number. Then you're going to move the decimal on the inside of the box the same number of spots that you moved it on the outside, and then bring it straight up and divide. So there's an extra step here. So if I have negative 3.9 and I'm going to divide it by negative 1.5, I need to get rid of the decimal out here, move it 1 spot, which means I have to move it 1 spot here, and then put my decimal straight up, and then I'm just going to divide like normal. 15 goes into 39 twice. That would be 30, leaves a 9. Need to bring down a 0. 15 goes into 90 6 times, and that is 90. And because it's a negative divided by a negative, it makes it a positive 2.6 for my answer. So then I have a couple of problems that I would like you to try and bring with you to class tomorrow. And here they are. First one, negative 9 9/10 divided by negative 2 and 3/4. And then I would like you to do 13.65 and divide that by 2.1. So bring these two questions with you for tomorrow.